Hi, my tarot bumblebees. It's Ethany. Welcome back to my channel. Or hello if this is the very first time you are stopping by. Today I'm sharing with you a little bit of my book in action, and we're going to do a study in the Four of Cups from my Tarot Grimoire book, which came out in August 2024. I really wanted to do a series of videos where I actually pick a card from the book and I do the spread and the spell with you so you can see how you can use the information in Tarot Grimoire in your tarot practice. And the Four of Cups really was screaming at me to be done, which is really funny when you think about it, because the Four of Cups is not really a screaming kind of card. But I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this one very first is I'm recording this in winter. It can get very dark and the days are very long in the Northern Hemisphere. So a little bit of that seasonal sadness can come on. A lot of people got emotionally just like slapped about silly by 2024, and we may be still sitting in some of that. So I felt like working in that Four of Cups energy of re-engagement after sitting in apathy or disconnection in our emotions would be really, really helpful. And then the third reason is because when I was writing the book, I wanted to do tarot spells that weren't all about just using a tarot card in magic. You can absolutely do that. You can use any tarot card, like the Four of Cups, for example, and do a spell based on this. You can write on it, you can put sigils on it, and I do have spells in this book like that. But I also wanted to think outside the box and have you as a tarot reader and a tarot student think outside the box as to how the cards can play in bigger aspects of our lives, how they can go beyond just that card. So while some of the spells in Tarot Grimoire are spells that will use the card, not all of them will. So we're going to be going on a little field trip, and we're going to be doing the spell for the Four of Cups together. And I was really proud of that spell, to be honest, because it was something that inspiration really hit and I really, really liked it. So I'm going to include Jordan in this, and we're going to do it together, because I do recommend you do the spell with someone that you like. You don't even tell them it's a spell, because it's a treasure hunt, and who doesn't love a treasure hunt? So let's go through the Four of Cups together, and let's shake off some of that apathy if we're holding on to it, or that stagnant Four of Cups energy, and transform it into joy through working with Tarot Grimoire, which is available anywhere you get good books, and you can ask your book seller to get it in for you, or you can order it online, and it's available everywhere. So let's jump on in. With every card in the book, there are key concepts and a little bit about the card to center you before we jump into the work. And so the key concepts for the Four of Cups are apathy, boredom, fatigue, and disconnection. And it's really about those times in your life, for me anyway, where waters are still, where you haven't got anything emotionally left and you're not quite sure how to move away from that place. Fours in numerology represent stability. So it's like a energy of the water going to the lowest point and just settling, and that's it. Like, it doesn't want to go anywhere. So this can be from recovery from a long illness, or just doing way too much socially and then needing to recharge. But instead of recharging, we're almost like emotionally disassociating and not connecting, or not listening to ourselves, or we're avoiding hard emotions, right? Which is like the next card in the progression of the cups. So that's some of the key energies of the Four of Cups in the tarot. The spread that I designed for the Four of Cups is a release apathy spread. With emotions, if we don't acknowledge them and we don't give them space to be felt, to be examined, to have time with us, all we are doing is prolonging their tenure, their stay with us, especially difficult emotions or emotions where we would rather not, So with this release apathy spread, you're really giving yourself some time and a little bit of perspective to allow the aspects or the facets of apathy to be examined and to have airtime for you to then be able to release it. And if you're really in a state where apathy is starting to become a little bit more serious with your mental health, please reach out to mental health professionals. Please let the people who love you know that you're struggling, because everyone struggles and you are never alone. And apathy and those hard emotions can develop into something more long-term and serious. So just, having that knowledge of yourself, or when you are like, okay, cool, I can pull myself out of this. And when you're like, no, I actually can't. And there are also times when we need to just be okay with where we are and not put pressure on ourselves. So none of this needs to be an experience where I'm saying, like, if you're feeling apathy or you've had a really hard 2024 and you're like, I should be over it. I hate that word. That's not what this is about. And if you find you do the spread and the spell and you're still feeling a little blah, then, give yourself the grace of being human and try again later, and just allow yourself to be where you're at, and allow your tarot practice and your magic practice to meet you where you're at. This is not meant to set any expectations that you're just going to be like, I'm going to do the spell and I'm going to do the spread and I'm going to be happy as fuck. It's like, that's kind of not how that works. So I understand that there are many facets and many contributing factors to feeling disconnected, and they're not all just going to be magically magicked away, but sometimes looking at things from a very holistic point of view, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your emotional health, and then doing magical and mindful practices with the tarot and magic can help you transform and transmute that energy for yourself. For the tarot spread over on my blog at ethany.com, so you can go and check it out. And I will also be doing the little spread right now for you. So I'm going to swap over cameras and give you a little bird's eye view of the spread in action. And so let's have a look at how we can use the tarot to release our apathy. Just wanted to show the layout in the book, if you haven't seen it, for the Four of Cups. And every card in the tarot deck has got a layout like this. So we have a picture and then key concepts, a little bit about the card, and then we have the spread here, and then the spell as well. So as I go through the release apathy spread, which is what I'm going to be doing for you right now, I just wanted to show you a few things inside the book. And in a lot of the spells or the spreads, I also talk about different herb lore or tips and things like that, just in case you haven't heard of a specific herb or spice, or why I've chosen a specific color. It's in there for you as well. So let's go and do the release apathy spread now. I have chosen the Fairy Tarot by Natalie Hertz and published by US Game Systems. I got my copy a very long time ago, but it is going to be featured in an upcoming video. So the theme really fits with releasing apathy and finding some joy. So that's the deck I'm using. And this is a 5-card spread. So we're going to give the deck a shuffle and lay them out. I'm going to show you step by step how I do it, and we'll go from there. So as I'm shuffling for any tarot spread, I'm going to try and hold in my energy and my space, my apathy. I'm going to give it a bit of room to be heard and be felt, and mindful as well before doing this if I can do that. If not, then you can still do the spread, but I try to keep my query or my energy aligned. So you're going to shuffle the deck until you feel like you're ready, and then you're going to cut the deck again however you feel is right for you to cut and select. I just cut the deck once, and then I lay my cards out. So the positions, I don't read reversals. So if anything comes up, I'm just going to put them the right way. 1, 2, 3. Might need to make a little bit more room here. 4. And 5. So our first position is what thoughts are keeping me unmotivated. And the Emperor is very much about leadership. This is a card of responsibility, of having routine. This is a card of it's a powerful card of responsibility and leadership and male authority. So if I was looking at this in the context of, like, say, my apathy, which I'm actually not feeling apathetic right now, which is great, but if I was feeling apathetic, then the thoughts that are keeping me unmotivated might be the responsibilities I have as a parent and as having a family and being responsible for the care of so many. What needs of mine aren't being met? The 8 of Swords. So if I was to get this for myself and with the context of apathy, this would definitely be like, my thoughts are caging me. My thoughts are what's keeping me, isolated in this negative feedback loop, and I'm not giving myself enough time and space to unwind them and really get out of my head, right? So what needs mine are being met? This is very stagnant. This is someone who is not getting, they're not moving without careful consideration. So I would counteract this. We can have a look at the steps to take, but I would look at this as, what do I need to counteract, knowing that the cards and my subconscious, like my higher self, are telling me that my thoughts are caging me. What are my feelings trying to tell me? The Wheel of Fortune. I need to move. The wheel is a card of movement, of change, of evolution. This being stuck, and this is interesting too, because 4 and 8 are both, 4 is the number of stability and of structure, and 8 is that feedback loop of the lemnis set, but is a very lucky number. And the wheel is saying to move, to change, to move this stability, and to kind of disrupt that a little bit, and to remember that sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But one of my favorite sayings, and I say this to my friends a lot, is that being mad or being sad or feeling down is a place that, yes, you're going to visit, but don't build a house there. Don't set up camp. Don't allow it to take up permanent residence. Just know that it needs to be shifted. And I love all this cloth around it, because it's really saying that you've got so many multiple options and angles that you can dive into that maybe a little bit of perspective is needed here. What positive options in front of me are being ignored? And we have the Five of Cups. And the fact that this is a Five of Cups and a Four of Cups spread is fantastic, because this is saying the next step is literally the progression. The positive options are in front of me and they're being ignored because I'm viewing them as a negative. I'm viewing this as something that is not great. And really, when we finally give our grief and all that sort of stuff a space or loss or whatever it may be, space to breathe, we can then move forward. We can then release it. So this, if I had this for myself, and again, I'm not actually feeling apathetic, but I wanted to run you through this as an example. If this was what I was feeling, it'd be like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to call my therapist and, have a session. What steps can I take to release my stagnation? The Page of Wands doesn't necessarily talk to me about my therapist, but I love that this has got a trumpet, and it could be literally like call your therapist and go talk to someone, or talk to someone that you trust. But what's really interesting is that I've been making a concerted effort this winter to do things with my family so that we're not getting stuck in stagnation. Like, we went and did archery on the weekend. It was the first time my son got to do archery. He loved it. We went bowling. We've been to an arcade. We've been hiking a lot. So like doing active things together to make sure that apathy doesn't set in. So this Page of Wands being my archetype of play and Peter Pan and imagination and joy really speaks of those activities and the things that can get you moving and out of this space of isolation. So I hope you enjoyed a walkthrough of this Release Apathy spread. I would love for you to use it if you haven't, or if you feel you are really in need of its wisdom, and let me know your feedback on how it has worked for you. We're now going to move to the spell, my favorite, the Re-engage Joy spell. So let's go and check that out. For the Four of Cups is a Re-engage Joy spell. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this one. So this is a journey spell. It's not one that you're meant to sit and do stationary, because that's what we have in this card. We have a lot of sitting in stationary. In most tarot cards for the Four of Cups, there is a seated figure. So we're going to get our buns up and a moving and a shaking and a grooving to re-engage some of that joy and move some of that energy. This is a treasure hunt. This is a Four of Cups treasure hunt. So you are required to find somewhere that you want to go that is either somewhere on your bucket list that you've wanted to go locally. I mean, we all can't pack up and go to Paris or something like that. But for example, the places that I shortlisted for myself were the Vancouver Aquarium, because I freaking love it there, and they have baby otters, sea otters, and I love sea otters so much, and they help rescue marine life and there, so I really love it there. I also put the Vancouver Art Gallery, because that's quite reasonably priced, and there's a lot there that can be found for your treasure hunt. And I also put Granville Island here in Vancouver, because it's full of, there's markets, there's art galleries, there's the ocean, there's lots of street art, and and there's donuts. So I put that down as well for a short list. So that's what I'm talking about. It could be a park in your area. It could be the library, especially if you live somewhere that has a really beautiful library. It could be a museum or an art gallery. And most of the time, those places are going to be reasonably priced, if not even just by donation. So that's what I'm talking about, somewhere that's on your local bucket list, or somewhere you want to explore. Now, I am a huge crime junkie. If you haven't checked out their podcasts, you absolutely should. And there's a rule about being safe. So if you are going to explore, I'm going to put my mum hat on for a minute here, if you don't mind. Please let people know where you're going. Even better if it's somewhere you've never been before, or if you're taking transport you're not used to, like public transport. I get lost everywhere. Take a friend, drop pins and message it if you need to. Just be safe, because we should always look out for each other, and we should always be mindful of when we're exploring somewhere new. All you're going to need for this spell is the list for your treasure hunt, and I would recommend taking a person with you, because it can be really fun to share why you selected everything. And, everything's better with friends. So pick a friend, take your kiddos. This is another great one to do with kids, because who doesn't love a treasure hunt? And, maybe make a little day out of it. You don't have to say it's a spell. For you, that intention can be there. For everybody else, it can be a simple treasure hunt to re-engage some joy, to be joyful in the day. So there's a little bit of this being sacred for you, but if you're bringing in your family or loved ones, they don't necessarily have to be doing it under the same intention, or they can. It depends on how magical your friends and family are. I would write down the items that you're looking for the spell for each person, so they have their own little list, or text it to each other, because everyone has phones. To cast the spell, to do the spell, you're going to arrive at your space. You're going to have your list of treasure items, and you're going to take photos at least of each one of the items that you associate with the joy. If you're outside and you can take something, whether it's like a pretty leaf or whatever it may be, back for your altar, then absolutely you can do that. But at least take a photo or do a sketch or a drawing of each one of your treasure items. Set the intention when you arrive. You're here to find things that spark joy. You're re-engaging joy. Here are the treasure items you're going to be looking for while you are doing this spell. A yellow item. Yellow is the color associated with joy. It is the color associated with our solar plexus energy center, which is where we start to stir our power and can re-engage us back into the world. A symmetrical item. I love symmetry. And so this symmetrical item is also a call to the number 4 and the balance. So something that is balanced on both sides visually. A vessel that can hold water. 4 of Cups, we have to look for a vessel. This can be a cute coffee cup. This can be an acorn little lid, which is tiny, but it can still hold water. But remember, it has to be something joyful and fun. Something that reminds you of a happy memory. Really, it can be anything. The other thing you can do if you're like, oh, I'm not sure how to find something that is a happy memory, is to take a moment and close your eyes and think of the happiest memory that comes to you, and hold that, when you've got that, as clear as possible in your space, in your energy, and then explore from there. And for me, I can think of lots of different things, because most of my happy memories are associated with my son and my family. So anything that reminds me of those, I'm going to find something. But if you're struggling to find a connection there, or you're not quite sure how to do that, start with the happy memory and go from there. The next is an item that you find beautiful, and really it's anything. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so have fun with that one. And it's just anything that you feel is beautiful. And then the last treasure item for re-engaging joy is something that makes you smile. When you come home from your experience, you can journal about why you chose the things you did. If you're like me and you're probably going to take a notebook with you anywhere, everywhere, and all the places, I would write down why I picked it in that moment, or do a little email to myself on my phone, take a note just so I have it. Or you can share it with the people that you went on this little treasure hunt with. And it is a reminder that every time you might get stuck in this Four of Cups energy. You can go back to your journal, or you can see the items on your altar, or you can look at that little photo collection and remember that joy and re-engagement in your emotional happiness can be simple, small things. And even in doing this, you're creating a happy memory. I'm here in beautiful Squamish. Let me just show you how gorgeous this space is. Isn't it beautiful? And we're ready to do our scavenger hunt for our spell in Tarot Grimoire. And I am wearing yellow. I'm trying to wear something that is very inspired by our spell. The sun is shining even though it is in January, and we're off to find all of our items and be in the sunshine and re-engage joy. And let's go find the items, and we'll be back. I'm going to be showing you some of the beautiful sights in Squamish as well, and let's go find some joy. So back from the road trip and ready to show you the items that I found, and one of them is just like, this never happens to me, so I'm really excited. So my first item was a yellow item, and I actually got this little bee felted key ring from a collective store called Pine Tree Collective, Artist Collective. Isn't it so cute? There's also another yellow item, but this was the first yellow item that I got. It was just a little bee, which I thought was super cute. The next was the symmetrical item, and I found this. This is a photo of a stenciled, actually goes this way, but a stenciled wall at an incredible game place called Arrowwood Games, and this is in their game room, and I can't wait to go back and play some games there and pick up some dice. We were in there talking to everyone for a while, but I feel like I didn't get to see everything. We picked up a cooperative game to play. That's my symmetrical item, and that blue is one of my favorite blues. The next one is another photo, and it was the item that can hold water. And I saw this gorgeous little teapot. It was tiny in a shop, and this store was pretty incredible. I have the card somewhere, but if I can't find it, I'll pop it in the link. And this was super cute. It was a vintage little teapot. So that was my item that could hold water. So the little teapot's from a shop called Empire of Dirt, daily inspired recycled things, and a lot of stuff comes from there. So it was really a cool place. The next one is something that reminds you of a happy memory. So there was a couple. The first one was also from this Empire of Dirt, is this John Denver vinyl. Because my dad loves John Denver, and I just have lots of happy memories of listening to albums in my childhood while cleaning, and there was always music on a Saturday morning. I also got the Carpenters singles as well, another vinyl. He's a carpenter, my father's a carpenter, and that reminded me of it. So I got these two, so I wasn't sure which one I wanted, and they were pretty cheap, and I don't have a record player, but I know I would hope to have one day when we have a home. The other thing that I got as something that reminds me of a happy memory, actually got moved to something that makes me smile. And there was lots that made me smile, but these are called the Greenies. This is a tree greenie, and this is willow. And it just made me smile so much. They're handmade, and I got this from the Pinewood Collective. So it's 100% made in Vancouver of wool felt. And I grew up next to a park, like across the road. And oh my gosh, I had a willow tree that I would sit up, and I just spent so much time in this willow tree that this little willow is just the most adorable little creature. So this is my thing from, this is my item for the spell for the something that makes me smile. She's so cute. She felt like a she. And then there was something that you find beautiful. Oh, there was another one from a childhood memory, which was these old carpenter tools in the same store, the Empire of Dirt, because as I mentioned, my dad is a carpenter, and I spent lots and lots and lots of time working with him, school holidays, bringing him cups of tea while he worked we had a massive industrial shed in the background, in the backyard. And I've held a level so many times, it is not even funny. And then something that I find beautiful was this incredible mural. I mean, what a piece of art. This is called Strong Spirit of the Mountain by an artist named James Harry, and it's on one of the main streets downtown for Squamish, and it is so stunning. This is going to be incredible in my journal. I love it so much. I can't even describe how much I love this painting. So this was, as you can see, it's 3 levels high, and this was a thing that you find beautiful. And the background, the sort of area of Squamish, and there's some photos I'll add to the video, is a beautiful place, but this was the one thing that, like, it made my jaw drop. Now, the other item that was my yellow item was that in the Empire of Dirt store was the Royal Fez Moroccan Tarot deck. And this is a bit of a rare deck. It didn't come with the booklet. It was found by the owner of the store at an estate sale. And I counted all the cards to make sure that they were all there, and they all were there. The cards are in pretty good condition. There's a little bit of yellowing and there's a little bit of ink on some of the edges. But besides that, it's all there. And I could not believe it. Like, I never go into antique stores or things like that and find decks. Like, that's never happened to me before. So to walk into a store in Squamish, of all places, and find this rare tarot deck that's all there. None of the cards have rips. There's a couple of cards that have a little bit of yellow, like there's a little bit of a yellow dot, and I don't know if that was from the original print or not. But this deck, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, what a deck. So the guidebook, the little white book, actually was written by Stuart Kaplan. If you don't know who Stuart Kaplan is, he is the founder of US Game Systems and, a tarot legend. So I was thrilled. And the reason why this was another one of my yellow things is the yellow borders. See, like you can see this little, I don't know if it's going to focus, but see that little dot there, the little round. This was all hand, stamped. So I was floored. So that was my other yellow, my other yellow thing. I love the purple backdrop. So these were my items for my spell, and it was so fun to walk around with Jordan and explore a place that we haven't been to in, we've driven through it a lot going up to Whistler, but it was great to actually go downtown, look at all the artisan stores and re-engage some joy. It was a beautiful sunny day. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed a walkthrough of the Four of Cups for Tarot Grimoire. I would love for you to let me know what tarot card you want me to do next, what spell you want me to explore, and what card you want me to walk through from the book. Let me know in the comments and I will make sure to prioritize that next. And thank you so much. And if you have done this spell, please let me know how it went for you. Wishing you all the re-engagement of joy and releasing of apathy, if that is something that you need right now. And I will see you all next time.